Guys, so welcome everybody. This is Ego in Russia, and I'm a foreigner traveling to Russia. So this is the best channel to hear about traveling to Russia, sites, tours, all the things in Russia, because I am actually a foreigner who travels to Russia. I do the whole procedure. So it's pretty it's a bit tough. It's tough to travel to Russia nowadays, and it's not getting any better with all the new legislations. For example, with the Russian SIM card, go check out my channel about that news and some other stuff as well. For example, the topic in this channel as well. And also, there's hardships from the Estonian side, for example, or EU side traveling into Russia. Finnish border is closed, for example. Baltic states makes it as hard as possible for normal people to travel to Russia. So there's a lot of negativity right there. And in addition, there's a thing that a lot of foreigners have been afraid of, and that's hearing that they are gonna be interrogated. That's the word they use. So I'm gonna tell you exactly what this is all about, what happens, if happens, etc. You are welcome to push like to the video. You are welcome to support my travels to Russia with PayPal, Super Chat, or Buy Me Coffee. Links are in the description, and we have set up the Super Chat, goal right there. So be sure to highlight your comment in the description. Welcome everybody. Let's take it. Let me tell you how this possible interrogation, so-called interrogation, actually happened, and what to expect. So, guys, if you travel into Russia, you may have heard on YouTube about the fact that foreign citizens, people with a foreign passport, yes, also dual citizens included, might be actually questioned at the border. You might be. And I personally can tell you that yes, that has happened, especially during starting in a bigger way during the autumn. This actually happens, and there's nothing to be worried about. Despite, I know that a lot of foreigners are afraid of that. Guys, this happens, and I've been personally in it, and I'm gonna tell you what kind of questions are required. Should you be worried or not? First time I was in there, Nuko, September 23, and I was taken for a little questioning. All right, so this has happened before, but the reasons why it has happened way more lately is because of this, of course, current situation with Western countries, not non-friendly countries, and Russia. And unfortunately, like we're talking about 95%, maybe even more, that are traveling from the Eastern, traveling to Russia, are usually dual citizens. They are people having families in Russia, people like me who love Russia, but ordinary tourists are coming majorly from we're talking about India, China, Asian countries, maybe African countries a little way, and South America. But of course, huge numbers are way down. So people who are actually getting, so in a way, bothered by this, let's say, are usually the ones who maybe don't deserve it. But of course, the reason why you have these questionings is because the safety. Once again, all of these new issues, new laws, and stuff that have been applied are actually something that's it's safety regulated, and they're just checking out that the people that coming into Russia, they want to make sure that they are good guys and boys and girls. Hello, big nose monkey. Hello, everybody. So Emil says already go into the detail, then I'm gonna give you some advice or like something to be prepared of. There's nothing secret about this, despite some YouTubers making like interrogation claims and stuff. The word is wrong, but I guess it's also fitting. I was maybe taken because I moved and I was suspect, but I have back pain, 2 discs and shot, so I'm in pain. They took me thinking I was whatever. Okay, suspicious behavior. Yes, they had this. The situation was that traveling to Russia was super slow during especially during the fall and especially closer to the holiday season. And the big problem was that people were late for 15 hours longer, etc. And beside and let's say in some buses there may be 50, at least 50% of people with foreign passports. So people were waiting huge time in the Estonia side. This is currently way better right now. There's way less people traveling in January, last time I checked. And people were waiting super long in Estonia side. And after that, the bus couldn't go on because like half of the bus were actually waiting to be questioned, or actually the official word for questioning is actually interview. So when you go inside you pass the Estonian border, and we talked about crossing the border in the previous video, but we're gonna continue and focus on this questioning or interview part. So people went actually when you go through the Russian, first you enter and you have the passport control, and you give your passport, and if it's a foreign passport, and if there's a situation where they have advised that foreign citizens must be interviewed, or let's put it for YouTube's sake, questioned, or for YouTube's sake interrogated. So the situation was that you are checked. They're gonna check the passport. They're gonna check everything, that everything is correct. And right before the thing that you need is the stamp. And right before that, sorry, and right before that, they're gonna take the passport aside, and they're gonna say, "We're gonna call you up." They're gonna get you. You are going to get called, and you go back to the waiting line, while the people that have like only Russian passport, they continue going on. And if you're on this on the bus, basically all your friends all your people from the bus actually going onwards before you, and you are staying still on the Russian side, or on this technically no man's land, because you haven't been let through. So you are waiting for your call, and they start calling actually right after, basically when everybody, in worst case scenario, this depends on how busy is the shift, or how busy is the border, but you're going to be waiting there for a while. Last time I was in this situation, I actually had to wait, was it 4 or 5 hours? I was one of the first ones crossing, giving the passport, and one of the first one of the foreigners who was about to gonna go through, go to Russia. But I was the first one to call, one of the first one to call, to be wait in the for to be awaiting this call. And that situation happened that I had to wait actually almost, in this case, all 4 hours longer. I was 5 hours before I was able to cross. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So you are going to get called back, and then you're not going to get your passport, and you're going to get also a piece of paper. That paper has different kind of information and questions, and remember, this is all about the safety, and maybe also referring to this current situation. So these questions are gonna be, I'm gonna tell you what kind of questions they are right after this. So let me just check out the some questions and people joining in. Emil says you're waiting for 2 hours in line for passport control and visa control at Vnukovo. Vnukovo is an airport in Moscow. So usually airports are better, and 2 hours. That's actually not bad. But it can be faster, it can be longer. It depends on the how busy it is, and depends also on the day. How do you manage the cold when waiting at the border? Yeah, people, there was so bad situation I've seen actually in this case when I was waiting for 5 hours at to be called for interview. It wasn't even my first time this year, last year, but so I was there was a, for example, a older lady, really old lady, and she was feeling really bad. So yeah, some people probably get sick and get feel bad and stuff, and that's the intention of especially the Estonian side, I believe, in some cases. So, all right, we have Michael Portnoy. Oh my God, are you okay? Krasavits, мой дорогой. I'm good, thank you. Everybody, guys, remember push like, use super chat to support these extreme streams that I make. All right. Samuel says, I have a Ukrainian stamps in my passport from several years ago before the war. Is this grounds for more intensive questioning? And there might be, yes, there might be. But listen, it's if you are all right, there's nothing to worry about. Simple as that. Simple as that. They can be, and if things are especially explainable, that's fine. So Isma has actually just traveled to Russia, and let's see what he says. This was my second time crossing Luhama border. Are you? Yeah, you went overnight over Luhama. Last time I had to meet two men and have a discussion. It took 6 hours in total for maybe five people. Okay, you have even worse situation. I had 5 hours with two men, yes, and and how many people there were? And there were maybe 15, I would say. So you had even slower day, like I said. It can differ. Yes, some taxis might not wait for you as well there. Anyways, let's continue. So you're waiting to be called, and they basically they want to make sure that you're a normal, good guy. And once you are getting called, you're gonna go inside a special room, and basically just some offices and office space, and they're gonna have a discussion. You're gonna take off your phone, and they will ask you to open it. Not necessarily, but possibly. So they're gonna check your phone, and I believe they just making sure you haven't been in contact for some known, maybe contacts that they know of, probably something like that. Plus, of course, just they 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 watch in general. They might look into your photos, but not like glancing. They want to make sure it's nothing related to you know what, and that's I think that's a reasonable thing. And after that, they have this. They have also a sorts of questions. They ask the basic questions: where you going, why you going, and they check also the paper that you received, and you're supposed to have it filled before you go in. So, and that, by the way, that form has questions about: do you know anybody who's attending this special operation? Have you been in contact with? And what else? Mm, uh, these type of questions. And the one thing that is important, and also something that is connected to connected to the SIM card update, is that they're gonna get your IMEI email or IMEI. I don't know how to pronounce it. IMEI. Uh, what you call it? A code. So you're gonna provide that, and they're gonna just hit the information into the system. And yeah, the room might be a little bit very Soviet. Let's put it like this: the room is Soviet. People dressed something like this, and actually not necessarily even like this. There may be in civilian clothes. And yes, guys, and these people who are you talking to is are agents. You know the three letters. That's very normal. And yeah, and the thing what I do this video for is because, for example, I when I was coming back on that trip, I saw one person who was a subscriber to a Facebook, to my Facebook. I know him because he's a commentator. Hello, Black Cat. Nice to see you, my friend. So this guy was going in, and he was a little bit older, not a little bit. He was an older man. So I actually saw him because of his beard. And I went to him and I told him, spoke about him travel going to Russia while I was just coming back. And I actually decided, well, I'm gonna tell him that I'm gonna do him a favor, because um, this he's gonna shit his pants. People read these stuff in the news, so they might think about something really, really crazy. And I'm just saying this is normal thing. It's about safety. Let them do their job, answer correctly. And also one thing important in Russia in general that I tell my people who are ordering my subscriptions to, personal contact to help with traveling, that you know yeah, Westerners might like to sometimes answer more in more words, but in Russia, general thing all the way from the Soviet era, don't don't say extra, just answer the damn question. Why are you here, going on a tourist? Okay, they're gonna ask you where you're gonna stay. You're gonna tell them where you're gonna stay, your reservation. They might ask you maybe something about from the form that you have filled. They're gonna ask you like, well, do you know anybody who's attending or take participating in this uh, operation, or well, fighting against Russia, something like that? I don't know. So answer those questions. And yeah, meanwhile, this might be two. I had another situation where I was alone with a guy, and the funny thing is, back then that was my first time. I was filling the form, and I actually had a really bad, how you call it, signing. I wrote it in Aurelian. He was like, you didn't even try, didn't you?" Something like that. So yeah. All right, guys, welcome. We're gonna say hi to some people. We got Black Cat in the chat, the legend himself. We have Big Nose Monkey. Have you ever been in Volgograd? No, I haven't, and I know that Black Cat really wants, and many of you guys want me to, and I do plan to go there. Maybe this summer, indeed. And remember, guys, please push like. Let's get the stream up. I'm gonna continue with the story, and okay. How thoroughly do they look at like your camera roll? Will banned apps like Discord or Instagram be grounds for refusal for entry? No, no, it's not. There, I believe, and my experience is, your their intention is to make sure you're all right. They're not checking for anything like that. Most of foreigners, all of them, and Russians as well, do have the forbidden apps. Listen, you can have the apps, it's different thing, like to use them or something like that, so it doesn't matter, like seriously, don't worry. um, and and the apps are not banned, they are blocked. That's the difference, I think, or something like that. And yeah, a lot of Russians use them as well, so it's not even a serious, they're not there for checking your applications and your subscriptions. Um, all right, good question, very good question, Samuel. Brad Pitt says Brad Pitt was in 2023 summer 24 in St. Petersburg via Narva last year by feet over a bridge. Yes, and that's the only way to cross the border right now, because since February the 1st, the bridge is being closed off for renovations. It's going to be closed at least 2 years. There's a lot of speculations online based on how the work is done. People say it might be ready in time. Some jokingly say it's going to be yeah, before, it's going to be faster. And some people say it's going to be even longer. Actually, many people say it might take longer. That's so we will see. All right. And the question was long waiting in the sun, 4 hours, but no interrogations at all. Did they change something? Yes. In the summer, actually, 24, I have been in this similar situation in Narva. But like I said in the beginning of the video, it depends. It depends on a maybe on a shift, on a day, on the orders. It depends. But during the fall, it was very common that everybody, foreigners were asked question, not question. Let's use the words they use as well. They gonna People are invited for interview, and that's more best. Maybe questioning slash interview is the best description of the situation, I would say, for sure. Cheers, everybody. Um, yeah, people joining in, so we're gonna talk a bit more right here. Smash likes, like folks. Smash like folks, says Black Cat. Indeed, the best content about Russia on my channel. CB, hey brother, I'm from Pennsylvania. Just wondering if people from Russia or anywhere else in the world actually care who the president of the US is. I'm pretty sure people are interested who's president of US, who's president in Russia, China, and some important countries. They speak English. Well, good question. Listen, like I said, um, all closer to 100% of the people traveling to Russia um, are usually the ones traveling to Russia right now. Foreigners, it's a pretty small percentage. Not foreigners, I mean, sorry, people, um, non-citizens. That's I don't know. Maybe it's hard for me to tell the percentage, but people at the border don't speak English that well, if at all. If it's a foreigner, they do somehow manage through the interview, but the basic thing is they want to make sure probably they're gonna check your phone and check the reasons to travel into Russia, and of course, same thing that customs and the passport control usually do. They want to make sure on what you overall, what kind of a person are you. So if you're looking suspicion, acting suspicion, and that's they know their job, so they know what to do. But the major thing here is, like somebody said, it might take a while to go through that. It depends on the day, depends on the what's the situation with how, is there a lot of people working, is there a lot of people crossing. So it actually might take hours or less. For example, like I said, in my case, my bus almost left me because I was there for 5 hours. I was the first one at the passport control and last one from our bus to enter. Not my fault. I was ready, but that's just happened. So me personally, I was waiting for so many hours. And guess what? The interview lasted for, I asked them to be faster. And actually, the bus driver just came to them. Hey, can you be fast? We leave. We have to go. They go, well, they said, well, if the longer you talk to us, the longer it will take. So, they don't take bullshit from anybody. So, yeah, and the interview lasted like 7 minutes. I think it's like 5 minutes for me, maybe seven. So, and after that, you have to, of course, go through. They're gonna get you. Then, yeah, listen. After that, they're gonna, when everything's fine, you go back and you have to wait for your passport. It takes few minutes before they bring back your passport with your immigration card, and they just stamp you. They might be already stamped as well. If not, then the official passport control will stamp the already prepared passport. Remember, the only thing that was lacking was the stamp. After that, normally you have to go through customs, and then you're free to go. So that's the interesting. And I'm gonna tell you actually one thing: the form that you're gonna get when they refuse to let you through and ask you to go back and wait for the name calling. for your name call. The I think even the paper was only in Russian. So, but there's always some Russian people that help out. People who are traveling. So, or use your phone with Google Translation. The visual translation. All right, guys, let's go back to some questions before I continue with my insight into the interviews of at the border or interrogations. What's up with the blinking light in the background? Don't you like it? I think it's my that's something that I put up to make this live streams even more nicer. What the hell? And guys, if you want to support the channel, you can use the super chat, PayPal, or buy me coffee. I will get notification, and I always respond. All the donations are going back to one, first of all, to cover the computer fees, which is right there, the new old computer, and the travel and expenses that I'm planning to do this spring already, like soon, and summer as well. All right, let's go back to some questions and comments. When I crossed the border at Narva last summer, they didn't check my bags, they didn't check my phone, they didn't interrogate me. It all went very easy. Yes, and this was last summer. Yes, and I'm talking about the updates after the summer. But it was a period, especially during the fall and winter, and all the way to closer to January. It might have changed. Last time nobody did that, which is fine. But there's one thing also that's if you have been there already, they should not take you in again. I was, because I had to take my new passport for my new Russian visa, so I was a new customer, so to speak. So there you go. And guys, thank you so much, and I see you soon somewhere in Russia.